At this stage in the game, if someone is just joining them, we're live at a hostage situation, what was a hostage situation. Now it is a standoff with police on Jackson Street in New Albany. Just a few moments ago, the Indiana authorities started bombing the house with tear gas. You can see the SWAT team running in right now.
If you look at the black car,
that's Nel Taylor in the background, live on the tape. That was live. It is now tape. They fired the tear gas into the home, hoping to flush out Jesse Davidson, who's been holed up for several hours, keeping the entire neighborhood at bay, really, because no one can go home. Homes have been evacuated. School children have not been allowed to return to their homes this afternoon. They have been kept at Scrivener Junior High School and Lillian Emery Elementary School, waiting for their parents to come and pick them up. We're back live now. Still no movement out of the house. Jesse Davidson began his rampage early this morning at Wheeler Elementary School in Jeffersontown when he went in search of his estranged wife, Diane Davidson, who was supposed to have been an employee, he thought, at the school. When he didn't find her, he took a woman hostage along with her 2 small children, forced her to drive to New Albany, where he took Emily Terrence hostage in her home on Jackson Street. Emily Terrence is Davidson's estranged wife's aunt, and we are told that Ms. Terrence raised Diane Davidson. Right now, again, we are sitting and waiting to find out what's going to happen. Apparently, the tear gas is not working at this stage in the game, Nell.
Melanie, can you say that again? We're trying to move the camera so you can get a better look at the scene. We are walking the camera now down the street a little closer to the house.
Apparently the tear gas isn't working. Can you see any movement from the SWAT team or officials?
Nothing. Everybody is just standing by, waiting to see if the tear gas worked. And right now we are trying to get a little closer to see if we can see any more. They have pretty much kept the media away from a sight line of the house during most of this, but you can see that the officers that you see there have a direct sight to the house. It's just less than, a block. It's less than a quarter of a block from them.
There were a lot of relatives there earlier, Nell. We saw a lot of folks out in the street.
They're still here, but they're not at our end of the street. They're at the other end of the street. Many of them live in this neighborhood. Here you can see, well, we just passed by the back of the house. You can see that this whole area is cordoned off with fire department and police officers. So they've kept a pretty tight seal on it all day long. We're on an alley directly behind the house, and if you see those 2 SWAT team officers there, they have been there the entire time. That's right behind his house. And they also fired a couple of canisters into the house. So back in front, the house has been inundated with tear gas. And I guess they're just hoping it's going to work and get him out.
Well, for the safety of everyone involved, I'm sure that they would like for this situation to end peacefully. He apparently was very, very angry. Now, you spoke with some of the relatives earlier, I believe, did you not?
Yes, I did. And they had said that he has been harassing and threatening Emily Terrence, the aunt of his estranged wife, since his wife left. And she left several months ago when she first filed the divorce action. And there's apparently been a history of domestic violence. They have no children. They've been married for 19 years. Davidson is in his early 40s. His wife was a teacher at Wheeler Elementary School in Jeffersontown, and she fled to Wisconsin because he threatened her life shortly after she filed the divorce action. Then she tried to return again in July, according to the relatives, and she was coming in on a bus. Her aunt, Emily, who raised her from the time she was a child, went to the bus station to pick her up with one of the cousins, and the cousin told me she watched as Jesse Davidson attacked Diane Davidson, his estranged wife, in that bus station, and that's the time when he stabbed her and beat her. And there was a warrant out for his arrest from that time, and shortly after that, she fled again to Wisconsin. she's not here in the state, in either of the states right now. She's still in Wisconsin. And he began threatening and harassing the aunt, saying if he couldn't hurt his wife Diane, he would hurt the person who was closest to her.
But that's one threat he apparently did not live up to.
Well, just last Friday, he was outside the aunt's window. She called police. He was outside the aunt's window trying to get in the house, threatening her, banging on her windows. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. She called police then. And there was another warrant taken out for him here for terroristic threatening and criminal trespassing.
I see in the background of this shot, and I'm sure this is the reason why we're looking at this, there are 2 members, I am assuming, of the New Albany Sheriff's Department SWAT team or Indiana State Police.
That's Indiana State Police SWAT team.
Okay.
And they have been there the entire time. That's immediately behind his house. He is right. That is right behind his the aunt's house.
So they have the perimeter surrounded then with several police officers.
Oh, yes. I would say a dozen or so police officers there. And as we've said before, probably the state police, and I haven't gotten the numbers, but it looks like the state police has a little less than a dozen officers here working as negotiators and the SWAT team. The Sheriff's Department has as many, and New Albany Police has that many as well. And then there have been officers from Louisville and from the FBI here as well.
Well, for those of you watching the clock, it is indeed 5 o'clock, and that means it's time for Wave 3 First News. Jackie Hayes joins me now, and you're going to be taking over coverage.
Right. What we want to let people know, after the situation at Wheeler this morning, after the person, this Mr. Davidson, hijacked the woman's car, according to police, he forced this woman to drive to West Louisville.
Right.
There he allegedly raped her with her other 2 children in the car.
So he's very dangerous.
Then, according to police, forced her to drive to New Albany, where he again forced this woman, he hijacked, to go to the door, knock on the door so that the aunt would open it, and at that point he rushed inside the house. And the woman who was hijacked and allegedly raped ran at that point and called police. That's the part of the story that we are confirming at this point.
The scenario. It's a horrible story and one that we don't like to report to you, but we are glad we can alert anyone who may be headed back to that neighborhood in New Albany not to go there right now. It is not a good and safe time to be there.
Of course, people in that neighborhood are frightened. People at Wheeler Elementary, as we told you, the drama began to unfold about the same time that parents were dropping off